Today, we're diving into Arabic poetry. We're going to be exploring this question that I think is relevant across cultures and time. What does it truly mean to be wealthy? And to do that, we're going to be looking at the work of Al-Akhtal Al-Saghir, a poet who grappled with this very question centuries ago. And, Arabic culture has always placed a high value on knowledge.
Right.
There's that proverb, knowledge is light.
Yes, and another one that's always stuck with me is seek knowledge even if it is in China.
Wow.
It really speaks to the dedication and the lengths to which people were willing to go in pursuit of wisdom.
Absolutely. And that idea of seeking knowledge no matter the cost really sets the stage for understanding Al-Akhtal Al-Saghir. He was writing during the late Umayyad period, which, if you think about it, was a time of massive expansion and change for the Arab world.
That's right. The Umayyad Caliphate was at its peak, stretching from Spain to Persia. So you can imagine there was this influx of wealth and new ideas, but also a lot of instability.
So how does Al-Akhtal Al-Saghir fit into this picture? His name sounds familiar, though.
Well, there's actually a bit of a twist here.
Okay.
There was a more famous poet, simply known as Al-Akhtal, no Al-Saghir added to his name. This Al-Akhtal, the older one, was known for his praise poems to rulers, kind of like a poet laureate of his time.
Okay, so like a court poet celebrating victories and all that.
Exactly. But our Al-Akhtal, Al-Akhtal Al-Saghir, took a different path.
Okay.
While the older Al-Akhtal focused on outward achievements, Al-Akhtal Al-Saghir turned inward, exploring philosophical themes and really grappling with the meaning of life, wealth, and wisdom.
Interesting. So in a time of outward expansion, he's focusing inward. So kind of a countercultural figure in a way.
You could say that, and that makes poetry even more fascinating, especially in the context of, your question about true wealth.
Okay, so let's hear it. What did Al-Akhtal Al-Saghir have to say about wealth?
He actually addressed this head-on in a poem that challenges traditional notions of what it means to be wealthy. We have both the original Arabic and a beautiful English translation.
I'd love to hear both, especially if the translation captures the nuances of the original.
Of course. In Arabic, the poem goes,
صرفت شبابي أطلب العلم ثروة فقالوا جنون والجنون الذي قالوا كفاني ثراء إنني غير جاهل وأكثر أرباب الغنى اليوم جهال.
Wow.
And in English it translates to, my youth I spent pursuing wisdom's gold. Called it madness, rash and bold. But wisdom's wealth outshines their gain, while riches blind and ignorance reigns.
I'm particularly struck by that line, wisdom's gold. It immediately elevates knowledge to something precious, something worth striving for.
Absolutely. And it's contrasted with the riches that blind, suggesting that material wealth can actually hinder true understanding.
It's like he's flipping the script on what society typically values. Instead of chasing material possessions, he's dedicated his life to the pursuit of knowledge. And it reminds me of those proverbs we talked about earlier, especially the one about seeking knowledge even in China.
Yeah.
Like he's embodying that ideal.
Yes, that's a great connection. Remember, traveling to China back then was a monumental undertaking.
Yeah.
Full of risks and unknowns.
Right. Yeah.
So by comparing the pursuit of knowledge to this arduous journey, it really highlights the importance and value placed on wisdom.
And there's that powerful line, it is enough wealth for me that I am not ignorant. It's almost a declaration, a statement of self-sufficiency that comes from knowledge.
Right. He's finding contentment and fulfillment in his understanding of the world, not in material possessions.
It makes you wonder, especially in our world today that's so focused on material success, what types of knowledge did Al-Akhtal Al-Saghir consider truly valuable? Was it purely academic knowledge, or did it encompass something more?
That's a great question, and I think it gets to the heart of what makes Al-Akhtal Al-Saghir so relevant today. Because we might ask ourselves the same thing. What kind of knowledge truly enriches our lives?
Exactly, and perhaps for Al-Akhtal Al-Saghir, living in that era of expansion, knowledge wasn't just about accumulating facts. It was about understanding the world, navigating change, finding a sense of grounding amidst the chaos.
Yeah, it's like that line in the poem, they called it madness, rash, and bold. Maybe to some people, dedicating yourself to knowledge, especially in such a turbulent time, seemed impractical, even foolish.
Yes, and yet he found wealth in that pursuit, a wealth that went beyond material possessions. There's a sense of inner strength and resilience in his words, wouldn't you say? Absolutely. And it makes you think about the different ways we define success today. Are we too focused on the outward markers of wealth, on keeping up with the Joneses, as they say? Or are we also cultivating that inner wealth, that comes from knowledge, understanding, and self-reflection.
It's a balancing act for sure. But I think Al-Akhtal Al-Saghir's poem reminds us that true fulfillment often comes from a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us.
You know, it's funny, this poem written centuries ago almost feels like a commentary on our modern obsession with information overload. We're constantly bombarded with news, opinions, and data, but are we actually gaining wisdom from it?
That's such a crucial point. Al-Akhtal Al-Saghir wasn't just talking about accumulating knowledge. He was talking about the kind of knowledge that transforms you, that helps you navigate the complexities of life. And that requires discernment, critical thinking, the ability to sift through the noise and find what truly matters.
It's like he's saying, don't just be a data hoarder, be a wisdom seeker.
Exactly. And that resonates so deeply with the idea of seeking knowledge, even if it's in China. It's not just about acquiring information. It's about the journey, the struggle, the transformation that comes from seeking wisdom.
Okay, so as we wrap up our exploration of Al-Akhtal Al-Saghir and his incredibly relevant poem, what key takeaways would you say stand out?
Well, first, I think it's a powerful reminder that true wealth isn't measured by possessions, but by the depth of our understanding and the richness of our inner lives.
Yes, and that this kind of wealth, this wisdom's gold, requires dedication, a willingness to go against the grain even if others don't understand.
Absolutely. And finally, I think it challenges us to be more discerning in our pursuit of knowledge, to seek not just information, but wisdom, the kind of understanding that can guide us through life's complexities.
That's so well put, and I think it leaves us with a lot to ponder, especially as we navigate our own world that's often so focused on external markers of success.
Indeed. It's an invitation to consider what truly matters, to cultivate our inner riches, and to seek wisdom wherever that journey may lead us.
And speaking of journeys, next week we'll be exploring the poetry of another remarkable Arab poet, Al-Mutanabi. His work is often described as a journey through the human experience, touching on themes of love, loss, war, and the search for meaning.
Al-Mutanabi is truly a master of language. His poetry is known for its depth, its intricate metaphors, and its ability to evoke powerful emotions.
It's going to be fascinating to dive into his work and see how he grapples with some of these timeless questions. But before we move on to Al-Mutanabi, I want to bring it back to you, the listener.
I'm sure they have valuable insights to share as well.
What resonated most with you about Al-Akhtal Al-Saghir's poem? What does true wealth mean to you in your own life?
Yeah, it's so easy, right? To get caught up in the hustle, chasing that next promotion, bigger house, that flashier car. But Al-Akhtal Al-Saghir's poem is like this powerful reminder to just step back for a second and ask, what are we really chasing?
It's almost like he's offering us this different kind of wealth map.
Oh, I like that. One where the most valuable treasures aren't found in, bank vaults,
Yeah.
but in the depths of our own understanding.
I love that, a wealth map. And I think for Al-Akhtal Al-Saghir, that journey of discovery, that seeking of knowledge, even in China, wasn't just about intellectual pursuits, right? It was about cultivating character.
Right.
About becoming a better, more complete human being.
Yeah, you're right. There's a line in the poem that really highlights this. While riches blind and ignorance reigns, he's not just saying that, wealth is bad. He's suggesting that it can actually lead to a kind of spiritual blindness.
Oh, wow.
A disconnect from what truly matters.
And it's that blindness, that ignorance, that he's contrasting with the true wealth of knowledge and wisdom. It's like he's saying, open your eyes, see the world clearly, and then decide what's truly valuable.
Yeah. And it's fascinating to think about how that message resonates today in a world that's often so focused on outward appearances and material success.
Absolutely. I mean, we're bombarded with images of the perfect life, the ideal body, the must-have gadgets. But Al-Akhtal Al-Saghir is urging us to look beyond those superficial trappings and invest in something deeper, something more enduring.
Yeah, and that's a journey that's open to everyone, regardless of their background or social standing. It's about, cultivating curiosity, engaging with different perspectives, and constantly seeking to expand our understanding.
And maybe that's the most valuable lesson we can take away from Al-Akhtal Al-Saghir's poem. The pursuit of wisdom is a lifelong endeavor, and it's a journey that's ultimately more rewarding than any chase for material wealth.
Beautifully put. And as we conclude this deep dive, I hope it's sparked a sense of curiosity and a desire to explore the rich tapestry of Arabic poetry, a tradition that's so much to offer in terms of wisdom, beauty, and insight.
Couldn't agree more. So until next time, keep seeking, keep questioning, and keep exploring the world with an open mind and a thirst for knowledge. And remember, true wealth lies not in what you possess, but in the richness of your understanding.